This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
The legend that is Joe Schad. How you doing, baby? You feeling good? Feeling better?
A little bit, Big O.
Okay, good. I'm actually going tomorrow to get my double boost, actually. So I'm going to get my second boost because I'm going to Vegas at the end of the month to cover a draft without any picks. But I'm not going to give up a Vegas trip. No, but seriously, and since I'm going to Vegas, as you know, Joe, there's people all over the world there. So I'm going to get that extra boost when I go to Vegas now, just to protect myself.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I was around a lot of people at the NFL scouting combine, and that's when I came home sick. So
no, dude, hey, colds are nasty, and colds can last you for a couple of weeks. So obviously, you're lucky it's not anything serious, though. But obviously, we got to protect ourselves. So you got landscaping, or is that a plane that's kind of flying low around your house?
I've got a lot of projects going on around my house. The latest is we're doing the staircase. So there's guys out there with sanders that are sanding maple. These guys are amazing, man. The way these guys came in, they're artists, man. They cut these pieces of wood by hand. It is so precise.
Yeah.
And now they're sanding. So as long as you can hear me, we're okay.
Oh no, we're good. It's just funny. It's great. I love it, actually. I love the raw. I love life because we're all the same. We all live the same lives. So let's not dress it up like it's anything different. Things got to go on in life, and you got to fix your home, and you got to upgrade and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually cool. I like it. All right. So after we talked on Saturday, obviously after everything, but the news broke of Devontae Parker in that trade. Your thoughts on that trade and one, moving him, and two, the compensation?
I'm fine with the trade. I mean, the Dolphins obviously have a lot of depth at wide receiver. Now, we said the same thing last year, and they started to go down one after another like flies. But Cedric Wilson and Tyreek Hill are players that we expect to be on the field. And
not injury prone history, the three top guys. Even Waddle had the one injury, but he's not an injury prone guy. So really Cedric, him, and Tyreek, at least, last year was a bunch of receivers, but they all had injury histories with them. You know what I'm saying? Now they're kind of amassing a group that doesn't have an injury history. You know what I'm saying?
And Devontae Parker, it had run its course. I think he had been a Dolphin for 7 or 8 years. A little bit unfairly maligned at times. I think he had a good Dolphins career. I think he had some really good moments as a Dolphin. But Dolphin fans really dislike him because of the soft tissue injuries. He averaged 13 games played per season, so he didn't miss as many games as the perception is. Teron Armstead, and you have pointed this out, he has averaged 11 games per season in his NFL career.
Wait a minute. Because Poupart mentioned the same thing, and I'll mention to Poupart the same thing to you. Games played and games finished is really what counts. And some of those games that he's, it's labeled like he played it, but he really wasn't effective in that game because he got injured or banged up or whatever. And it shows he played, but he really wasn't that effective. So that's where that stat is a little deceiving because there are games where he got banged up in those games.
He did dress for 13 games. And you're right. There were some games where he went out on the first series with a hamstring, but he did start to take care of his body a little bit better later in his career. He did mature a little bit later in his career. But despite that, Devontae is not the kind of guy that you want on your team if he's getting 2 targets a game. That would not have played out in a good way for anybody. So, it's a little weird trading him to the Patriots. I mean, obviously that tells you that they do not fear at all Devontae Parker being covered by Xavier Howard or Byron Jones. And I watched Xavier Howard usually get the better of Devontae Parker in practice. Now, there are very few players who get the best of Xavier Howard in general. But the guys who do are usually the Tyreek Hills, the speedsters.
The fast guys, yeah. Antonio Brown did a number on him last year. You got to be speed guys that you can shift. speedy, shifty guys are the ones that the really, really good receivers are the guys that can give anybody a problem, including X. I'm with you all the
The
way on
Dolphins
that.
think that matchup will be fine. And the
Yeah.
Dolphins might be thinking, hey, Parker's, how do we know he's going to be, on the field for both games? We don't know that.
Yeah, and I got to tell you something. Hamstrings in the Foxborough cold. If you couldn't keep them loose here in Miami in the heat and humidity, I don't know how those hamstrings are going to get looser in the cold of Foxborough. So to me,
I don't mind
that's
picking up the third round pick in the 2023 NFL draft. I like the strategy of sort of tanking the 2022 NFL draft and allowing Mike McDaniel to enter this season with guys who have some NFL experience, even if it's just 1 year. And then, as we've discussed many times, what it takes to move up for a quarterback if necessary, on average, it is what the Dolphins have, which is 2 1s and 2 3s. So if they need to move up from, say, 18-5 in the 2023 NFL draft, they can give up 2 1s and 2 3s.
Yep, that's right. Or I can look at it the other way and say, there's a really smart way of building your team, because next year you will not have the same kind of salary cap flexibility because of the commitments you made this year. So you'll be a little bit more limited, but you have plenty of picks to load up your roster to complement what you're doing at this point in time. So
there's some good strategy in roster building from Chris
Right.
Greer and Brandon Shore, a behind the scenes guy that a lot of your viewers might not be aware of, but he's really good with the numbers.
Right. And obviously Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie, who also are helping out in their front office. That's what I like about what they did this year. They used their cap space after building a foundation the first couple of years through the draft. Now you augment that foundation with experienced players, and then next year you have a slew of picks to then back up all of that and add more positions along the way. Because one of the things that, if you look at it from where you started, Joe, 3 years ago, and then next year when you're doing this draft that you have all those picks, that's your 4th year. That's when these players start to come up with contracts, the 4th and 5th years. So now that group of players that you're getting here, the 2 1s, the 2 and the 2 3s, now that's the next cycle. So now you're entering that first cycle where you're going to start losing some players, you'll keep some, and the compensatory picks will start. So in other words, if you really look at it, there's a method behind the madness, the way they're doing it and the way they're structured.
Yeah, if Mike Gesicki is allowed to walk after the 2022 season, the hope is that by then Hunter Long is a really good replacement. So that's what you want to do. You want to have,
and then you get a compensatory pick for Gesicki too when he signs somewhere else. So you keep that cycle going at the same time. And then some of your early picks, you may not sign all of them, but those that you lose, you'll get compensatory picks for those.
And then if Chase Edmonds and or Raheem Mostert are gone after one season, you use a draft pick on a running back next year.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So to me, there's a really nice cycle of what they're doing, and it kind of, okay, money this year, picks next year, and so on and so forth. I just kind of like the method behind the madness, and I think and worst case scenario, of course, what you drew up, that if Tua doesn't convince, then you've got all the ammunition to try to correct that issue. Although something tells me that if Tua doesn't work out, I don't know if they'll be the ones to be able to correct that issue. That's the thing. It might be somebody else using those picks, because I don't know if Tua doesn't hit. I don't know what happens then at that point.
Well, there are 2 big-time quarterbacks in next year's draft. I think, is it Ohio State and Clemson? That might be right. At least 2 big-time quarterbacks. And
the Clemson kid was kind of up and down. The ukulele kid.
I should know this. One is Ohio State, and then I forget the other one. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up too now, because I know you're right about the other guy.
It's Alabama. It's C.J. Stroud of Ohio State and Bryce Young of Alabama. It would be ironic, obviously, if the Dolphins were to replace Tua with another Alabama quarterback, but You know, that stuff doesn't matter. If Bryce Young is much better than Tua, they'll go for him.
Yep. One guy says, "Bro, they're vacuuming in there."
Yeah, with the sawdust. Yeah.
And by the way, Nyborg says Schad would give Jackson ice cream a 3 out of 5 and complain that the cones were not tan enough and that the vanilla ice cream dropped too soon in 90-degree heat. Damn,
I went
dude.
to Jackson's Ice Cream. I've been there.
And
it's good. You know, I'd give it
out
like
of
a
5
4
stars.
out of 4 out of
4
5.
stars.
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
I gotta tell you, bro.
There's a lot of hype.
You're not even giving Jackson's ice cream 5 stars.
I can give you my 5-star recommendations.
Sean, did you see what the listeners did with Cam Wolf's pick? Did you see that? Oh, go to my Twitter page and pull up Cam Wolf's pick. Cam, by the way, showed up on Saturday with a red and white shirt. And so somebody said, "Oh, is he going to Jackson's to work?" And then they dressed up the picture and they put like name tags and all that, and they have him like working for Jackson's and all that. So, Sean, if you can find it, pull it up there on the Twitter, because it was actually funny. They did a really good job with that one. So you have been at Jackson's, and you don't. What gets 5 stars for Joe Schad in anything in life? Something's got, not your wife, okay? Don't start with that, okay? We all give 5 stars to our wives. Okay, outside of the wife, outside of the kids, outside of your dogs, outside of your family, all right? Give me a business. Give me something that gets 5 stars from Joe Schad.
Okay. From a resort perspective,
okay.
Grace Bay Club at Turks and Caicos. Have you ever been to Turks and Caicos?
I'm writing it down right now.
All right, Grace Bay Club at Turks and Caicos. All right, write that down. Go to Turks and Caicos. It's like Destin, but even better in terms of the powder white sand. All right.
Okay.
So that's like my resort. I'm going to tell you to go there.
Okay.
All right, and then from a restaurant perspective.
Okay.
Am I allowed to mention a specific restaurant?
Hell yeah, bro! You're getting some 5 stars. I want to know what the hell it is.
Kuro, Kuro, Japanese and sushi at the Hard Rock Casino.
Oh, I've seen it.
If we can get Kuro as a sponsor, that'd be outstanding.
I've seen that place. I have not been in there. I went to what's the steak place there? Which was really good.
Yeah.
I forgot the. Yeah, the steak one was really, really good. But obviously,
I'm not even like a sushi guy. I'm not a huge sushi guy, but my wife and I go there for New Year's every single year. Unbelievable.
There it is. There it is. Look.
I saw Cam Wolf celebrating his 29th birthday on a yacht or something.
Yeah. You know.
I want to know how these guys have access to yachts.
Well, you know, Cam is big time. You know, Cam is big time. He's hiding all that cash he has from us. You know what I mean? Yes. You know, that's Cam. Cam lives that life that we all wish we would. What are you working on?
One more. The 5-star vehicle
you got
for me.
else?
The 5-star vehicle. I've had a lot of vehicles.
Okay.
The Mercedes AMG. Write that down. Mercedes AMG. I know it's a little.
Which one?
You know, I've had a C63 and a C43. Obviously, the C63 is better, but in my current state of employment, I had a downgrade from my last job to the 43. But it's still nice. It's blue.
Okay. All right. So there you go.
I'm a big fan of Turks and Caicos, Kuro at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, and the AMG line from Mercedes.
Grace Bay Club. Right?
Oh, really good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Grace Bay Club at Grace Bay Beach.
I may take
the best one. The best one is actually Amanyara, which is where like the superstars go, but that's like really.
Oh,
exclusive.
I can't afford that.
Go there for dinner. Amanyara. Go there for dinner.
Okay. All right. No,
that's where Xavier and Howard had an event.
I may take the wife to this place next year for our 29th, because it's our 29th wedding anniversary next year. I'm not taking. For 30th, I got to plan on something, dude. I took her to Paris for our 25th, so I got
Wow.
Yeah, you know, and I gave her a brand new wedding ring in the Eiffel Tower while we were having dinner there. So I nailed it. It was like a grand slam. But now I got to top that for our 30. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but I got to top that for our 30. I got 2 years to work on that. What are you working on in the Palm Beach Post?
10 pressing questions as Dolphins report for off-season program. First one is, what tone will Mike McDaniel set? I talk about how he's approachable, witty, and smart and puts players first. And the second one, will Tua take the next step? Go figure, right? So you want to read what I have to say about that.
And Tua, of course, when he does take the next step, remember, we're all going to be on the bandwagon waving bye to Joe Schad, Omar Kelly, and Alan Poupart. We've kicked them all off the Tua bandwagon. Joe, we love you. Follow him on Twitter at Schad Joe, and follow his rankings, because when he ranks something 5 stars, it's got to be good. Joe, we love you. Be good.
See you, buddy.
You got it. There you go. The great Joe Schad.
When you ready.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.